Here we go then, back with season 2 of this Brendan Rodgers Reading rebuild. We've got the Berkshire club back into the Championship at the first time of asking. Going to continue to focus developing this youth academy squad, aiming to make some smart moves and keep those purse strings as tight as possible. If we make the right moves, I can see us heading straight up to the Premier League. Quite a lot of departures after season 1. Shane Long leaves the club and Beng Wei, a whole host of youth players going out on loan, and we're going to get ourselves into the transfer market and see if we can improve our squad. We've got ourselves a big list of prospects here, and the first man we're going to get into talks with is Jean Botouet. He's available as a free agent, bags of potential in the Burkina Faso forward. Only 20 years of age, he could be the one to lead this team up through the divisions. On a weekly contract of £3,800, he'll be one of our highest earners at this point, but I think it's going to be a worthwhile investment, especially when you see that his recommended wage sits at £8,000. Sam Curtis coming over from the League of Ireland. He will be providing some backup cover to Abrafa and a good option at right wing back. And a couple more exits to highlight. Jamari Clark and George Puskas will be leaving the club. I'm sure the Reading fans will be especially happy to see George Puskas leave the club. Not really worked out for him at all. High wages for the striker. Also starting to see some offers coming for Cesare Casadei, but we will be turning each and every one of those ones down. Time to highlight a youth prospect, Fatih Ali. Looks like he's got high potential as a left winger, should be in and around the first team. And finally, our last departure of the transfer window, Sarr leaving to go to Schalke. We'll be bringing in Jude Brewer to start in that centre-back position. This is how we'll be lining up then for the majority of the season. Shaping up really nicely here, Joseph Bentley between the sticks, Jude Brewer with Tom Holmes in the centre-back positions, Casadei developing 71 at the moment. I think he's going to explode this season, and Botouet up front with Kone and Ajaria either side of him. That should be absolutely lethal. First game in the Championship then was against a freshly relegated Luton Town, and we got the lead just before half-time. That front three combining perfectly, Kone getting away from the left back, feeding Botouet, one more onto Ajaria, and it's 1-0 to the Royals. We were looking good for a first win in the Championship until a collapse in the last 10 minutes. We gave away the equaliser with 82 minutes gone. Holding out for a point, we gave away a penalty, but Joseph Bentley kept us level, only for us to throw it away at the end of added on time. Doherty getting away from Tom Holmes, cutting inside, great composure from him, you have to say, and finishing to give Luton the win. Things didn't get much better for us in our next game against Huddersfield Town. Neither for us or our captain, Holmes giving away a penalty on this occasion to give Huddersfield the lead. Kiergaard was pulling some strings from midfield. We were 2-0 down within first half an hour. It's not been the start to the Championship season that we were after, so with that in mind, we're going to make a couple of extra additions to the side. Prestiani joining us from Vélez Sarsfield for 2.8 million plus Archie Welch. And promising centre-back Ronnie Edwards joining from Go Ahead Eagles for 2 million. Those are our three signings for this season then, Gianluca Prestiani, Ronnie Edwards and Jean Botouet. Hopefully they can help get this season on track for us. After 10 games we're sitting 8th in the table, not too bad, we need to keep it a bit tighter at the back, but hopefully we can begin to push on for automatic promotion. And push on we did, partly down to a switch to a 5-2-3. We were straight at it against Ipswich Town. Winning the ball back, recycling it through those back three centre-backs, getting it forward, and there's Kone cutting inside and feeding Botway. So hopefully a combination we'll see a lot of over the next few seasons, and he slots it past the keeper to give us the perfect start. We ran absolutely riot in this one. Ipswich did help us out by putting on an absolute horror show, but even Andy Carroll got himself on the score sheet back in the Championship with a low header into the bottom corner from a corner. Lots of screen time going to Stefan Kone, but just to highlight Botway and Ajaria and what they're doing this season, both of them sitting first and second in top scorers and the assists for the Championship so far. We've moved Ajaria back actually to a central midfield position, and here's a taste of what he's doing from there. What a finish from outside the box. And a little taste of what Botway is all about as well. Fantastic attacking positioning from him and a thumping header to give us a win against title rivals Burnley. And it's going to make it particularly difficult to let Ajaria go. I should have got him signed up to a new contract late last season. With only 6 months left on his contract, negotiations have fallen apart. He'll be joining Ajax at season's end. We found ourselves a little pick-me-up in that youth academy though. Caleb Draper, 66 overall centre-back. It's time now though for Brendan Rodgers to reintroduce himself to the big time. He's been away licking his wounds, and now he's back to face Pep Guardiola at the Etihad in the FA Cup. And it couldn't possibly have started any better for us. 2 minutes gone, Abrafa finds Cesare Casadei, who bides his time, slides it into Botway, who puts it past Edison. Great composure. 3 minutes gone and we're ahead. Brendan's in absolute dreamland. They pegged us back though within 10 minutes. Didn't think there was any danger here. He's over 30 yards out. He unleashes that effort. Completely unrealistic for me, but there you go. Finds himself unfamiliar on the right hand side. Played in, takes his time, puts it into the far left corner. And so far in this first half, Brendan's keeping Pep well and truly in his pocket. The fluid movement of that front three. Botway's on the right wing. He gets past his defender, waits, he's at the byline now, and he cuts it back to Kone, who slams it home. 3-1 to the Royals at half-time at the Etihad. And we got even more comfortable after 82 minutes when Phil Foden, fresh off the bench, dives in on Abrafa as he plays it back to Bentley. And that is one of the worst challenges I've ever seen on FIFA. And we just about had time to rub even more salt in the wound. Tetek, rarely on the score sheet, finds himself with acres of space running through the centre of that Man City half, and he puts it past Edison. And there we go, a lovely little handshake between the two managers, and now it's time for Brendan Rodgers to take the plaudits of the crowd. Magisterial managerial work there. And as you can see, we're doing much better in the league as well. At this point, we made a couple more investments to get Santiago Castro from Vélez Sarsfield and Yeltsin Arike joining us on a free transfer. And we found a couple more promising players on that free market. Kai Gordon joining us, right winger, we'll be sending him out straight on loan, I believe, and David Peters as well, coming in to give us some midfield reinforcement. Next up then, a trip to Carrow Road. Prestiani getting us a vital goal after 11 minutes. They levelled it up after 35 minutes though. Adamida playing a neat 1-2 and slotting it past the keeper with a lovely curled finish. We keep going, and Brewer is alive to that loose ball, getting up well and slamming a header past the goalkeeper to give us a 2-1 lead at half time. And this one was rounded off by Mr. Inevitable. Botway fed by Tommins. It's a lovely deft finish after 65 minutes. And big wins like that have seen us reach the summit of the Championship. But we need to be careful, only 6 points separating us and 7th place Burnley. Before we get into that final run of fixtures, I'm going to highlight a bit more transfer activity. Issam Ahmed, a player from our youth academy and one of the first to leave the club, heading to Real Salt Lake. The conveyor belt continues though. Ivan Colombo and Finley Hutchinson, someone who could really run that midfield from the pivot. A couple of highlights from the sharp end of the season then. Tom Holmes giving away a penalty here against West Brom. We were level at the time, and we needed Joseph Bentley to perform that party trick to keep us in this game. And with half an hour left, we found ourselves 2-1 up and with an opportunity to close this one out. Kone into Cassidy, and he fools that whole West Brom defence by putting it onto a plate for Prestiani. That left us with an opportunity to win the title, and we'll be doing it where it all started this season, Luton Town. We took the lead with just under 20 minutes gone. Nesta Walker into Botway, and he feeds Stefan Kone to give us that valuable goal. Before half-time, Cesare Cassidy gets going. It's hard to stop him once he's on in one of his runs. And he gets it into Botway, who slams it past that Luton Town goalkeeper. We are on the brink here. And then with 15 minutes left, we put the cherry on top of the cake. Abrafa into Botway, turns that defender so well, and then ends up in the penalty area to put it on a plate for Cassidy. Tom Holmes lifts that trophy here for the Royals. We go up as the champions into the Premier League, back-to-back league wins for the Royals and Brendan Rodgers. What a journey it's been so far for us. We ended up winning the league by a margin of 4 points. Burnley joining us in automatic promotion, catapulting themselves up the table in the last 15 games. 101 goals for the Royals there, lethal this season, but we will need to shore up that defence if we are going to survive in the Premier League. And a huge shout out to Jean Botway, Golden Boot in his first season in English football, breaking the record in the Championship, 44 goals in 46 games. That's it for this season and this video then. We will see you next time in the Premier League.